What do you make of this trilogy fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury? What does Wilder have to do to avenge his loss?
Well, first and foremost is admitting to his mistakes that he done in that fight. Like I said before, I have no problem with Wilder. I actually like Wilder as a fighter. I like Wilder as a puncher. I like Fury as a boxer. And I'm not here to be biased about anything. I made a mistake the other day and I said race don't matter. You know, like I said race don't matter, but they took it and said, oh, race don't matter throughout the world. Like, no, I was talking about in that particular fight. I was talking about, like, why does race matter during that fight? Now, race matters, of course, because you're judges and you can go statistical about everything, but race, like he said he was chocolate, and because he was chocolate and he lost the fight, I just thought that was like bogus, you know.
Didn't you reference like skills pay the bills?
I did reference skill pay the bills. I don't know if people seen that, but if skills pay the bills, why are we speaking on, like, I'm fighting a European, you know. That Ray Wilder wanted to slap me, like I was smoking his bitch ass. Like I have people ready to go to prison for life for him. So if, like, I'm not interested in somebody saying they're gonna slap me, this is my life and your life that you're dealing with. So let's see who really more of that then. Like, since you're so, like, right, let's see if you really about that shit. Like, cause I was a part of this shit before boxing. Like, that's what I stand for. But at the end of the day, well, this is boxing, right? And then in boxing, during that fight, you know, I didn't see a significant way that they can say he cheated. Now, a lot of people say, man, gloves and all of this. Commissions check gloves right before fight, during the fight. They don't leave. I don't see any position happening where Wilder could have made a mistake or Fury could have did some cheating shit. If they didn't catch that, they're bogus on that.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Jermell, Charlo, airing out Deontay, Shionte, Beyonce, Crybaby Wilder. One more again. Now, initially I thought, oh no, I thought that Jermell Charlo was going to fold, in as much as I thought he was feeling the pressure. We know that the LDBC and Wilder fangirls, they love to try and guilt trip people. Oh man, you're not a brother anymore. You're not a brother. You're not part of the team no more. Listen, don't no one want to be part of your goofy team. You ain't no brother team anyway, cause how's Mark Breland's brother team working out for him? Yeah? You man are the Wilder sucker offer team. That's the only team you're part of. You ain't no part of, oh man, we ain't no brothers. You're the sisters. You're the sister team. You're the Shawshank Redemption sister team. That's what you are, no doubt. Bunch of sister looking asses. Yeah, you got Malik Scott, 78 Sports TV. All you man got your goofy, weird porno channel things, your OnlyFans things. That's you, man. Goofy, fruity looking dons. That's you, 100%. Again, I thought that initially, because Jermell Charlo said, I wasn't gonna, not everything. Of course, race matters. And I thought, again, initially, I thought, oh no, he's folded. But he said exactly what I said. Of course, race matters, in globally speaking, or that of course, on a macro level, race is important in specific areas. But as it pertains to a particular fight, and especially this fight, where you arguably won the first fight, in my opinion, I've always said it, my opinion's always been the same, I believe Wilder won the first fight. Because in my opinion, you can't have your eyes rolled in your head twice and win the fight. I just don't care what no one says. If you end up flat on your back with your eyes rolling up in your head like a slot machine, it's very hard to win that fight. You'd have to be dominating it to win that fight. And Fury wasn't. Fury was going 50-50 with Wilder. It was nothing in it. People call it a boxing lesson. I don't know. Me and you got different opinions on a boxing lesson. A boxing lesson for me is something like, I don't know. Let me think of an example. I don't know, but either way, that wasn't it. Whatever Fury did with Wilder in the first fight, it wasn't a boxing lesson. That's what you call 50-50. A boxing lesson isn't when you end up on your back twice and you can't even hurt the other person. Now anyway, that's history now. Fury's clearly outdone himself with the rematch. But that said, listen, weren't no one. You had a fight with Fury, and in the first fight where you won it, in my opinion, you weren't worried about no racial thing. You was happy to be the big daddy. You thought you was. Oh man, I'm the most feed in the division. That's what you thought you was. The next fight, same person by the way. And shout out to my dude H Money, because he made some good points. He said that, and quite a few people have said it, but either way, H Money said that, listen, a lot of you goofies, Wilder included, were saying things like, oh man, Tyson Fury is my brother. He my brother. He my Christian brother. I love Tyson Fury. That's what he was saying. Wilder couldn't tell enough people. Wilder would slag off AJ, a black brother, and suck Tyson Fury off. Oh man, AJ, he's scary. Tyson Fury, he a real man. He a fighter. He a fighting man. That's what he said. Wilder was sucking Fury off, kissing him, and Tyson Fury, he a fighting man. He a true man. He a true fighter. That's what Wilder was saying, 100%. Wilder was giving Fury a good blowing for him. And then all of a sudden, the man who you was blowing off, the man who you was allegedly doing all these favours, let's not forget, again, Wilder was saying, oh man, I did Tyson Fury a favour. I fought him when he had nothing. He had nobody. Meanwhile, AJ was looking to do the same for you. Yeah? AJ was looking to be your daddy, Wilder, and do you the favour and pay you loads of money. You weren't interested. You weren't interested in letting AJ hang at the back of you. So you fought Fury. And you tried to make out you're doing someone a favour, but whatever. The point is, you was talking like Fury was your best friend ever in the world. Oh man, he my brother, and you was, after the first fight, you was kissing him and getting off with him and doing all kinds of fruity tooty things. All of a sudden, that same man who you've been blowing off, he becomes your worst enemy, and he becomes the worst person in the world, all because you got a good whooping. Yeah. So, like Charlo said, race, of course it plays a factor on a macro scale, but as it pertains to Wilder and Fury, there isn't even a little bit of race that comes into it. I'm afraid to say, I really am. I hate to break it to you goofies. I hate to break it to you LDBC fruity tooty dons. Jermell Charlo is right. And it's a shame that you're not smart, intelligent enough to understand how silly you sound. And what frustrates me is, if Wilder had won that second fight, you wouldn't have mentioned nothing about race. So what is that? It's either racial or it's not. Does that make sense? You can't. It's not. Isn't it though? It's either something. You're either being. What's the word? You're either being persecuted or you're not. If it's a persecution, if it's a racial persecution, that's what it is. Win, lose or draw, you should come out of the fight and say, yes, I won, but there was racial persecution. You didn't do that. You waited until you got filled in. And then all of a sudden, the persecution came out. That's not how it works, unfortunately. If Fury was such a bad person, such a bad character, and I'm not saying he's not, I'm just pointing out that, why didn't he do it all the first fight? Because think about it, from a risk point of view, yeah, that first fight, Fury was coming off of loads of uncertainty. If Fury was going to cheat and do all these things, why didn't he do it in the first fight? Yeah, why wasn't he doing all... If Fury has all these tricks up his sleeve, why didn't he pull them off on the first fight? You was calling him your best brother and whatever else in between. The minute you lost... And it's not even... The thing is, what makes it worse is the fact that you actually went through a whole load of excuses before you actually got to the final excuse. Your final excuse was, oh man, it was the persecution and But before that, people have got a short memory. You said it was the suit that was too heavy. So initially you kind of tried to blame yourself. And it was only when that didn't work out for you. And even then, to be fair, the credibility of LDBC Wilder fangirls is close to is zero, literally. It's negative, because you man even denied that. Oh man, he didn't say that. Kevin Iole lied. He lied, is what you said. 2-2s. Kevin Iole comes out and drops the tape. Then all you man start backtracking. Oh man, he didn't put the whole tape. What do you mean the whole tape? What do you need the whole tape for? Oh man, he took it out of context. There was no context to be had. Wilder said his suit was too heavy. What's there to be context about? But again, it shows how fruity tooty you mans are. You will do anything to shill for Wilder. It's kind of weird, to be fair. It's almost like Wilder has some magic milk, and you man just have to keep sucking for it. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like Wilder has the antidote for your lives in his jeb end, and you man just have to keep milking his jeb end to stay alive. That's how you act, I swear down. I've never seen a group of men pay so much attention and give so much care to another man's jeb end as you man do. You man stay on the jeb end. Proper giving it all the TLC it needs for the magic milk. That's how you man act, I swear down. You man act like Wilder has a magic milk antidote jeb end. You just stay on the jeb 100% 24/7. It's embarrassing. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I'm not being funny. I'm not someone who's really into fruity movies. I'm not really into X-rated movies. I'm not one of them cats here who watches a whole load of X-rated stuff. I know certain dons here who watch X-rated stuff 12 hours a day. They love it. I'm not even really into it. But even having said that, the little bits I do watch, you man are like the females on there. Just love paying attention to the jeb. You love paying attention. You love paying attention to the dingling. Yeah, you man stay on that dingling of Wilder's. And I'm sure there's people out there who say, "Oh, YB, we're sick of hearing about dingling." Well, I'm sorry. If you man stop paying attention to dingling, then I don't have to speak about it. But for every time I hear the way you man act, the way you man defend and shill for another man, it's the only answer, I'm afraid to say. Because you don't hear me doing them kind of things. Show me, yeah, where something don't make no sense and you hear me just noshing some next man off. You don't hear it. Because I don't move like that. You man do. You man said, Wilder never said about the suit. The evidence comes out that he did say it, and even then, you're still justifying it. That there is what you call staying on the jeb. You man are milking it. Proper milking the magic milk antidote. Yeah? So, listen. Jermell Charlo, it's got you man looking silly right now. Jermell Charlo is clearly educated more than you man are. Because you man are just fangirls. You man are just only fangirls. In fact, that's your name for now. You're not fangirls, you're only fangirls. Because you've got to add the sexual element to it. You man aren't just fangirls. You man have a weird little fruity cult thing going on with Wilder. Where you just love staying on him 24/7. You love riding him. No wonder his legs was weak. Because you man have been riding him too hard. Truth be known. Yeah? And I think that's the problem. Wilder has so many fangirls. How can he have enough energy in his legs? If Wilder, think about it, you man are selfish. Yes, we know you love Wilder's jeb end. But if you think about it, if Wilder's got 50 fangirls, yeah, and you man are all begging for attention from him, and you man are all begging from his magic milk, how can he get anything else done? How can he get any training done if every one of you 50 man need to suck him off first? Isn't it? He can't get anything else done. There's not enough hours in a day. So unfortunately, Wilder has to spend all of his time letting his fangirls noshing him off. And I think that explains why his legs was weak as well. Because you man just too selfish. Rather than saying, "Oh, yeah, I love Wilder to bits and I love milking. I love milking him for the magic milk. But I need to let him train so he can win." You think, nah, scrap that. I need to suck. My needs come first, and I must suck Wilder's magic milk. And that's what you stay doing. I'm afraid to say, I really am. I'm sick of saying it myself, but it's just what it is. That's how you man are. You put your needs before his, and that's how he ended up washed because his legs was tired. You heard? Listen, that's his words, not mine. How did Wilder's legs get tired? Because he went with his wife. He was with you, man. That's where he was. Yeah, he was with his 50 fangirls. Blue Balls, 78, all you goofies, BFTB. All you fruity Wilder fans, super only fangirls. Malik Scott. No wonder Wilder's so close to Malik Scott. You think that's a coincidence? Having a laugh. Wilder's been on his OnlyFans. Wilder's starring, featuring. Big feature. Malik Scott's got a big feature coming. 78 Sports TV, Big Mama looking ass. And Deontay Wilder himself. Gonna get on there for some goofy buck ting. So anyway, listen. Jermell Charlo, put your man in his place. Wilder, that's another thing. You ain't gonna do nothing. Jermell Charlo would knock you out, Wilder. Because Jermell Charlo ain't chinny like you. You're chinny. You've got a pointy Eritrean chin, and the first thing that touches it, you're going to spark out. And Jermell Charlo can bang. You can't bang. You haven't got the minerals to bang. Jermell Charlo can fight many different places. He's multi-dimensional. You're not. You're one-dimensional. And the people you don't pay off, you paid Ortiz off to dive on the floor. You paid Mallet Scott off to dive on the floor. You paid Dominic Bumzeel off to dive on the floor. The minute you don't pay people off, you can't stop them. Because guess what? Fury wasn't paid off. Oops, you couldn't stop him. So you best keep winding your neck in before Jermell Charlo ends up smoking one of your mans. And you. No doubt.